Okay, so got to lay a little ground rules. Compassionate Healthcare Provider Educational Series. The purpose of this Zoom is to introduce listeners to a few of the possibilities available with Atomy products by sharing our stories and experiences. We have professional practitioners who will highlight various products and answer questions related to those products. Hey, that's that sweet part, okay? Because you want to know the products that's related to your situation, even if it's just maintaining, you know, good health, great health. I'll put it like that. Okay? Now, we have a disclaimer that hosts, guests, and contributors offer general information on improving health and wellness. This is not intended as diagnostic or medical advice. You should consult your medical doctor or holistic doctor. Hey, we got that covered. Holistic doctor before enacting any suggested strategy for health and wellness improvement, including those in relationship with preventing or treating specific diseases. Okay, now we normally have testimonies. Now, this is a suggested procedure of your testimony, which is the procedure to share your testimony. Your success story is as follows. It is as follows. When you begin, let us know, like where you was. It says where I was. A brief description of the problem or where you were. Okay. What Atomy products did you use? The name of the products. How much you took of the products. That could be very important. Because if you just mentioned Hemohim and you was taking 6 or 8 and somebody wants your same results and they just doing 2, they might not get the same results that you did because you was a little bit, you were very aggressive with it. In other words, you didn't go bear hunting with a switch. Okay, so we just want to just share that information with them just in case. Okay, now then, the last thing that you want to share it's about how long did it take before you start seeing any changes. What you want to share that. We had a guy just a couple of months ago. He had stage 4 cancer. In 2.5 months. Oh wow, he saw changes because he was up dancing. This is somebody that could not even feed himself. Had to get people to help him around. It just gotten that far. Okay. Now then, we do have a ask the doctor part. Okay. Now questions will be placed in the chat. In the chat, and the presenter will choose which um which questions as far as the answers. Questions should be related to possibly the tonight's presentation. Okay. Should be. But we're not really strict on that, but it should be. Come on now. And let me see. Let me see. We're not going to give any medical information or consultation on this format. You are expected to ask questions on your own behalf unless you have certain things, certain people you might have, let's say, agreed with and they needed you to ask the question. All right. So I'm going to end with this, where it says, thank you for your full cooperation as we continue to share the wonderful opportunity for improving health and wellness outcomes through Atomy products. Okay. So right now, let me let me say this. I'm gonna say a quick testimony, which is pretty interesting, and Dr. Jordan make it was pretty interesting. I was riding down the road. I had got up early in the morning. I was driving down the road. It's probably around about 8:39. I began to feel drowsy. You know how your eyes begin to feel heavy and everything, and I'm like, oh. Now in my glove compartment, I had some of that oil and water that you spray on your face. But I'm driving down the road. I can't be spraying that stuff on my face. I've did it before, but pulled over. But then I thought, wait a minute, I got that reset bomb. So there wasn't no harm in me trying. I wanted to see how it felt on my sleepy eyes. So I put some on the left and the right underneath my eyes. I didn't do like above my eyes. But I can, I felt soothingness on the bottom. And it was like, I wasn't I wasn't fighting it. I don't know why, but I wasn't, fighting to sleep in my eyes or something. But that was pretty cool. That's still using that Atomy reset bomb. If you're not familiar with it, get with the person that invites you. They can show you the Atomy reset bomb. Indeed. So, right now, I told you we're gonna hook up with Dr. Joy ASP. So, Dr. Joy, how's things looking right now? Are you ready to get started at this time? If not, we could take a couple more testimonies. Oh, okay. That's looking good.
Well,
Uh,
I was thinking about you and the. I can you hear me, Pastor?
yes, yes,
What?
very good.
Okay, good, good. So I was thinking about you and that energy, and I thought, let me bring energy to the. Hey, we're gonna put it in the food, okay? And that way we can hide it from some of the people who are not quite ready for all this good nutritional stuff. Okay. So what are we doing today? We're making the secret sauce, right? The secret sauce is going to tie all of us Atomians to healthy food. It's going to help lower your blood pressure. Now, right now, you may not see a lot of Atomy products. I'm going to talk about it, and Pastor, you're going to put it on the screen, right? You're going to help me out.
Oh, okay.
I know you're looking. Now, but I'm
Alrighty.
okay because I knew I weren't going to have that much. Okay, so what we're going to do first, we are going to make the secret sauce because the number one taker of life is cardiovascular disease. So if that's the number one cause of death, shouldn't we really be on top of that? That's why I'm rushing real fast right now to get people on what? Noni. And after Noni, the next product to get their blood pressure down is going to be the jelly sticks. Or the little ginseng, Korean ginseng crystals. Either one works. Actually, the crystals are cheaper than the jelly sticks. Some people think the jelly sticks taste better. Okay, so we're going to rush along. So we got to make sure the cardiovascular system is covered so that we're not going out early because of the cardiovascular, followed by cancer. So I brought some cancer foods here on the table. And the one reason we're making this secret sauce now, I want you to know why, is because we don't want to put any foods in our bodies that is going to excite our heart, number one. It's all salad dressings, most of the commercial ones. They all have something ick in them. And one of the main things they have in it nowadays is MSG, monosodium glutamate. And it excites your cardiovascular system. It could get you AFibing. I mean, you're on.
I noticed you're not washing the dishes I leave in the sink. Is there a reason? Somebody told you.
So what we're going to do first, we're going to make this sauce. Okay, let's get busy with it. I'm going to bring over the blender bowl. We make it really quickly in this blender bowl. Everybody have all their ingredients out? We've got what we got? Parsley, We're trying to make sure that we're keeping our blood pressure lower without medications. We all know that the medications haven't been working very well. Some of us have been taking medication for our blood, our heart, blood pressure, and our heart for some time now, and it still didn't balance it. So we're going to try something today that's going to help bring it into balance. And the secret sauce. Now, I gave you the recipe, and today we are actually going to go through it. We've got the old blender out. I have a bunch of parsley. It is organic. I'm just going to cut it off. I've already washed it. I'm going to cut it off right above where all the stems start. Okay? And so we got that. We're just going to put it in the blender bowl. Okay. Got that in there really good. Now we are going to put three shallots. I've got, and let me show you here what we got. I've got a little bowl here of shallots. One tried to sneak in there. So I'm just going to do 3 of these. Okay. 1, 2, 3. And I am going to put them right in the blender. And we're going to sneak in one thing that we all need to have. That's considered one, even though it's kind of 2 pieces. Okay, shallots. You know, because sometimes we struggle with this blood pressure. We don't know what works. You know, that's 2. And you know what? Get this bigger one. I'm going to sneak it in here. 3 shallots. And shallots and onions are basically the same. They're first cousins. Okay. Okay. So we've got that. Okay. We got shallots for 3. We got 1 bunch of parsley. And now we got to put liquids. We are going to put 4 ounces. Okay, here we go. 4 ounces of, let me show it to you, organic red wine vinegar. I'm going to open it up so it'll pour a little faster. Good. I'm going to pour a little wine in here, but it's wine vinegar. Oh, okay. So I want you to just kind of see it. It is a organic red wine vinegar. Now, you could have used apple cider vinegar, and they're playing with it a little bit by the #1 company, Bragg's, nowadays. So I'm just going to pour that in. Okay. Now we've got to get some olive oil. Now, this olive oil, if you look at it, it is organic. It is extra virgin. But bigger than those 2 words is something called first cold press. You want the first pressing, because as they start to press those olives, they think, what can we put in here to make sure we got all the makings of the olives out of here? We can just put a cheap oil in it, and that's what they do. And so we want the first pressing, because it wouldn't have any additive oils, like a cheap oil, like hazelnut or something like that. We love the health benefits of the olives. We gotta open this baby. And I want you to know, sometimes I am using this bigger bottle. This is a bigger bottle here. Okay, got it. Okay. Now this one has unrefined. Yes, I love that. And it's first cold pressed, and it is, it's 32 ounces. So that only means we're gonna have extra. We're gonna have extra sauce. That's what that means. Okay, wow, I like the sound of that. And so We didn't have to put the whole bottle in, but we could. Now, I usually go from about 18 point something. It usually come in that small of a bottle and up to this 32 ounces. So today I'm gonna probably go, that bunch of parsley was pretty decent, okay? So I may save a little bit of this oil. Yeah, so I could get it in my jar. I intend to put all of my sauce in this 32 ounces. And if I put the whole bottle of oil in there, I might not be able to get it all in my jar because I have these shallots in here. So I'm gonna try to put about 28 ounces. Okay, so go anywhere between 17, 18 ounces up to 32 ounces, but only because of my container today. I'm gonna stop right there, okay? So I'm gonna save my little oil. This stuff ain't cheap. It's good stuff. Okay, now, so I've got my organic red wine vinegar. I've got my 3 shallots. I've got my parsley. And what else do we have? Our olive oil, first cold press. Don't forget that part. Now, what else is missing? We are going to put some cracked pepper. Always, never. That's an interesting statement, right? Always and never use ground black pepper. I'm gonna crack some black pepper. And we'll close that baby up. And I'm gonna crack a little salt. Because now, this is the next thing. Always and never put salt on food before you cook it. Wait until it's finished cooking and then you put your salt on. Now, we all know that Atomy has its own salt. Oh, yes. All right, so here we go. So we've got that. And, you know, sometimes we want to cause it to just taste good. So for a little bit more fiber, we are going to open up 2 dates. I'm gonna drop one in, but never forget to take the pit out. We're gonna stick another one in. You could have put a little organic, unfiltered, raw honey if you want that. You didn't have to. Okay, we're gonna put the lid on it. We are going to spin it on a blender. Now it's all finished. We're gonna pour it up. Look at how beautiful that is. So it's so nice and green. Wow. And so watch it pour up. That is so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Isn't that just, we got a little extra. And since we have a little extra, let me tell you what you do. You're always thinking, where can you put your green sauce? We cooked up a little salmon here. And I'm gonna just put a little sauce right across the salmon. And you've got a little nice salmon salad on some arugula. How about that? So let's go ahead, put our sauce back over there, and we'll get to this. So we struggle, remember, we struggle with green foods. And let me show you how you could cheat a little bit. I've got a whole wheat little bun here. You could call it a roll. It's loaded with fiber, you could tell. And I'm just gonna take some of this sauce and put it right over it. If you weren't raised in the South, you may not understand what this is all about, but you could take this and just sop it in this green sauce. And let me tell you, it is one awesome thing. If you've never, I could just into it right now. So that's another little cool thing you could do with your sauce, okay? And especially when you're eating it just with the salad. Okay, we are going to jar up this sauce. Now, how long will this sauce last? 3 weeks, easily 21 days in your refrigerator. And you want to have it finished by the end of 3 weeks. That's such a beautiful green. And I should have tasted it. Let's go ahead and taste it and just see just how good it tastes. Remember, it has those 2 dates. You could get up in the middle of the night and just take you a couple of tablespoons of it. And you know when you wake up in the morning, the blood pressure is going to be right on. And so here we go. Let's change over now. We're going to do something really quick. So you got up the first thing in the morning. So what people are doing to get that blood pressure down, remember, you eat to get hypertension and you eat to keep your hypertension. And if you want it to lower, you have to eat differently to lower it down. Pastor shared with me, he goes through 1 bottle of noni a week. So earlier, I think it was either Friday, Saturday, or Monday. I don't remember what day it was. No, it was Friday last week. You know what showed up at my door? Only 26 bottles of noni. You know, I thought, I had gotten a little help to get the order in. I thought I was getting 2 bottles, and I got 26 bottles. Do you think I was upset? I was really rather glad, because I've got to go do a couple of events. We are causing blood pressure to just go down with that noni, and especially when you take it twice in a day. The morning, your little cup, I think it's about 2 ounces, and come back in the evening and do 2 cups, okay? That's what'll get it down. And then whenever you need a sauce, we've got it. It's called the green sauce. And you have to ask yourself the question, do I want sauce on my food, on my salad, or do I want the sauce on the side? You could just drink the sauce. That's what we do. Sometimes I just get some sprouts like these and just put the sauce on the sprouts. Oh yes, because your body loves living food, your digestive system. And one thing that we must have, and we must have it in abundance, we want to stay living, is enzymes. Enzymes is what keeps us alive. So, Pastor, can you bring up the fine enzymes? I'm the girl who would always say, we got to poop. Oh, yes. What's better than pooping is fine enzymes. These fine enzymes have to digest your food. And until you digest that food, look like, did we catch the price? What is the price, Pastor? The price is some ridiculous price, isn't it? Is that $18.50 before tax?
$18.50.
Yeah. I mean, come on. And it is the one thing you must have. It's a must have. If your food digest will not assimilate properly, and it's not going to eliminate properly, well, wait a minute. You're not going to get the nutrients you need to feed your eyes, to feed your brain, to feed your muscles, to feed your nerves. You're not going to get it out of that food you ate, whether it was good food or bad food. But you got to have these enzymes. So that's why people have acid reflux, indigestion, bloating, gastritis, colitis, constipation. So it's because we didn't digest the food properly. But the beautiful thing is you should always eat something raw at your mealtime. What is raw? Oops. What is raw? This green sauce, the sauce. And we add extra to it, these enzymes. These enzymes make sure you're digesting protein, because you know it's hard to digest beef. You're digesting protein, your starches, your carbohydrates, your sugars. Oh my goodness. It's making sure everything digests to the nine properly so that we can assimilate it and so we can eliminate it. And it doesn't cause that first disease that we all get. That's how we got sick. The first disease was called leaky gut. So if we could digest the food by taking fine enzymes with every meal, we all could improve our health almost overnight. So what I'm going to do, I want to cook a little something. And this is how you can measure to see just how good your elimination is. So you didn't have to get leaky gut. So do you mind if I took another few minutes, Pastor?
You go, girl.
Okay.
Indeed.
What I got here is something a little wild. I've got a pumpkin, okay? Squash, pumpkin, they call them all the same. And so look at the skin. You can just Google it and you'll see what are some of the benefits: eyes, lungs, heart, diabetes. It's for all of these things. So what I'm going to do, this thing is hard. You know, it's like, whoa, how do you cut into it? So I brought one of my crazy knives. And so if it's sharp enough, you know, you got to put a little end to it. Yeah. And so this is what they make, like, you know, sometimes I'm sure Pastor, he eats out. And this is pumpkin soup. It is so delicious, all vegan. And so when you slice it thin, it cooks up very quickly. Okay. And so we are going to cook up this really quick. Oh yes, that's that noise we want to hear, right? We're gonna cook it up. Now look, let me tell you, I got in trouble. And if Pastor Dr. Williams isn't on the phone, I'm gonna use her for the excuse. I think I brought my Adam wok to her house and forgot and left it there. And when I looked for it this evening, how many of you have bought that wok, the Adam and wok? It's my favorite pot. And so I do everything in it, from frying millet fritters to cooking a big batch of collard greens in it. I just do everything in the wok, okay? But I couldn't find it, so what's going on? We've got this squash in here, and we're just gonna let it cook just a few minutes. Okay, just by itself, while we put something else in it, okay? We're gonna, while it's cooking a little bit. What else do we have for the blood pressure? We know we have the noni. There is something else that's really big for the blood pressure and the heart. You know, the heart is a muscle. And the one thing we have to have is feed that muscle, the heart muscle. It's that plant-based calcium. We better get it out. And we couldn't use that plant-based calcium unless we had some beef. Okay, so here we go. We are going to, now, if you have a loved one that's sick, I remember back when Rose gave her testimony on her brother who had cancer in 3 parts of his body. You know what she did? She showed him how to make food for himself. Because if you're not eating the best food, how could you get sick? I mean, how could you get well? And so you're always trying to make sure that your body is alkaline. Now, I'm doing this garlic right now, but it's not going in the pot until the pot is off, okay? Okay, and so I'm just gonna cut it a little bit more. First, I smashed it. When you smash the garlic now, that turns it into an antibiotic. Okay, now this is how I'm just kind of also helping you to be a good health coach as well, helping them figure out the food piece, because the food kind of can keep the person sick. I always tell them, then you see this little clove of garlic, cut the butt off, cut that butt off. And you can use this garlic for a suppository to help with your immune system. So we always take it and just cut it down this long way right here, okay? And you can even cut a little piece off on another side and make a little point to it, okay? You see this little pointed garlic, you see, what would you do with it? Use it as a suppository, put it high in your rectum, okay? And it will, you can taste it in your mouth. It'll open up your head. Oh my, it's awesome. But we'll just keep it reserved over here in case someone of you might want it for the evening tonight, okay? And so I'm just gonna make this one a nice little point too. Okay, I hear my pot. My pot seems like it's ready to get stirred. Okay. So while it needs a couple more minutes, let's go ahead and put some asparagus in here. Now, why asparagus? Now, how much of this bottom you always cut off? What does asparagus do? It helps the body become alkaline. When the body is in an alkaline state, diseases can't thrive. But also, this is one of the healthiest foods you can ever eat if you want to beat old cancer. And so, instead of roasting it, on charcoals or just in the oven, we're just going to put it in with our squash. That's helping with the lungs, the heart, the diabetes, and the eyes. It's loaded with vitamin A, and your eyes are too close to the brain. So if anything started affecting your eyes, it's eventually going to affect your brain. So if we could take this out and we could kind of see where it's going to pop. Ah, it popped right there. So we know we got to cut about this much off. So I'm going to put that right here, and I'm going to cut it right about here. This part, I can put it in my compost, and I'm just gonna go ahead and put this in now. Put that in, load in my asparagus. If my squash is gonna be done in about 3 or 4 minutes while the asparagus is done. We're just learning how to cook to eat. And remember, we are cooking in our Atomy wok. And why? It is a medipot. The pot it's a medicine pot. And that's what, if you don't have it, you are gonna get it. I bet you I won't be on here again without it, because I have one. And I have totally enjoyed cooking with it, okay? Now, how do you know when you're cooking on time? Eat some corn. You can eat corn, you can eat beets, and when they pass out, either the water in the toilet is going to turn red from the beets, or you're going to see bits of corn. This is non-GMO corn, and we're just eating it just to check to see, how long is it taking to waste your food to leave the body. So I'm going to go ahead and put in a little protein, because this is going to be a non-meat meal, okay? Yes, unless we decide to sneak and eat the salmon with the sauce. Now, okay, so what should have been in there? We're gonna put some garlic in, And you know what's always welcome? What's always welcome is red onion. Okay, so I'm just going to add just a little bit because we're getting ready to get to the end of this cooking. And we're going to plate it up and we're going to put some of that sauce on. And you'll see just how good that sauce is going to be for anything you're actually making. Okay, we're just going to add it in. Well, while I'm doing it, I may as well add this corn in. I don't know if you know that it doesn't take long for corn to cook. I give it about 3 minutes. I never really cook it. I just massage it with olive oil and some of that Adam's salt. Oh my goodness. And I let it sit for about 3 or 4 minutes. And corn is so good. Now, wait a minute. What do we have here? We've got turmeric. One of my favorite products, because I work with seniors, is what? Is the painkiller. Oh, yeah. So I just put the onions in. I put MSM. And now I'm going to put the turmeric in there. What is that product called? Tumacin. Can we come to that, Pastor, the Tumacin? Because I sell a lot. I was just so upset the other day when one lady had to have 2 boxes of it. And so we always love turmeric. And when you can get turmeric fresh, oh yes. And so we got fresh turmeric and we got all the MSM and the shallots. And I'm going to stir it really quickly. Okay. I am stirring the pot. Okay. Now, we just need a couple of minutes. So now this is how asparagus works. Asparagus works really nicely. Asparagus, you could eat it once a day, twice a day if you've got cancer. It's just right there fighting for you, building your internal defenses so your body can be strong enough, given its strength to fight the cancer. Remember, you only need to give the body the nutrients that it needs. And one of the best nutrients I know that need to show up first is vitamin C, and in good quantity. I've seen it work so fast, you know, especially for a cold. It could work in just a couple of hours to get rid of a cold. And so never give that vitamin C. But how many? So any of the people that we have used as for cancer, who've had successful stories to get rid of cancer, they started off with at least 4 in the morning, 4 at noon, 4 in the evening. Wait a minute, that's 12. That's 24,000 milligrams of vitamin C. Now, it maybe only take like 3 days to just totally get some of all that old stuff out of the body so that we can start working with a clean slate. And then you go to 4 and 4. Oh, yes. Now we are, you know, remember, we've had 2 very strong, successful cancer stories just recently when they was in the kitchen cooking. I remember Emma was teaching one of our people how to cook. Yes, using these magic sauces. We got a red sauce and we got a green sauce. And what foods to eat. Eating asparagus once a day, twice a day, it works. You can even smell the waste moving out of you. You can smell it in your urine. It smells like old dirty socks when you're eating that asparagus because it's getting all that acid out. And it's bringing in that perfect alkaline pH. And so I think we are about finished. I think this asparagus looks good. The squash looks good. So let's get our seasoning here. This is what I put in all of my, okay, vegetables and food when I season it. I'm just gonna put a little something in here. This is my first time presenting for you guys now, so give me a little break. I'll come in a little better, deeper, stronger next time. So what do I cook with? I cook this now. I did put some oil in it. I put some coconut oil, okay? I get this refined, organic, virgin coconut oil, okay? Now, remember, I will not put black pepper on until the end because it too helps you digest your food. Okay, but normally I don't cook with electricity. I'm always cooking with gas, but today I thought, what's the best pot I could use since I was missing my Atomy Medi pot, okay? And so now that we've got the pot off, we're gonna take the top off, okay? And we will go ahead and season our pot. Okay. For those of you who like to put extra stuff to season a pot, they like to put like smoked different things. I'm gonna use an organic fermented, just like the noni juice is fermented. This is a fermented brown rice, and so I'm gonna sneak it in, and I'm gonna put the B complex. Remember, that is one of the most awesome things I know to get that blood pressure down is the B complex. And so I'm gonna put a little bit of nutritional yeast, okay? Here it is right here. Nutritional yeast is loaded with B12 and it makes food taste awesome. Okay, so we got a little salt and now let's put a little pepper. Whoa. We put cayenne red pepper. This is considered our salt. And then we've got our nutritional yeast. And today, because we are doing Atomy, because, you know, we can't get some people to start on the Hemohim, they think it doesn't taste good. And guess what? I am going to just put me a whole Hemohim in my food. Hey, it looks like the miso mud. It should make it taste really good. And I'm also going to put one of these because sometimes we have to work at night, especially some of these girls that maybe look at that. We're going to put a little bit of this. And what is this? This is quantum energy. It is awesome. Oh my goodness. It brings that energy right in there, but it's going to put that flavor right in here. Oh my goodness. So look at it here, and I'm going to toss it up. It's going to be awesome. We got all of our vegetables, and we're ready to eat. It's going to taste so good. I'm going to go ahead and plate it up, and so just in case someone wants to ask any questions before I have to leave. And the last thing I'm going to put on this, it didn't take long, did it? And we got one of the healthiest meals you could eat. Remember, we never cooked the garlic. I'm going to take this one because you're not here to get it, to use it as a suppository. But we'll save it for you. We're going to put garlic on the food. The food is off. And remember, if you ever wanted to put salt, which we didn't need it, now is the time to put the salt after the meal is finished cooking. And also, you never put black pepper. It's closed. No wonder it's not boiling. Okay. You also, the enzymes, you will kill the black pepper if you grind it up. Ground black pepper, no good. And you always put it on when the food is ready to eat. So here we go. I'm going to load it up here in the plate, and you can see how beautiful it is. And it's going to be just as good for you to eat it. Some pumpkin and asparagus, and we're ready to eat. coming out of your medi pot. Oh, yes. And you're going to be able to figure out how long is waste been sitting in your colon by when is this corn going to show up? And there you are. We've got a wonderful plate of some good food that's going to feed your eyes. See, I'm going to be 70. Not ready to wear the glasses yet. Well, I better eat for my eyes. So that's why I am eating these pumpkins. And I advise you to do the same. But let me tell you, what got me knowing eat the pumpkin, it was both of the eye supplements. I don't take just one. I don't take just a lutein. I'm on that zeaxanthin as well. I take both of them. I may get up and take two. And then middle day, I may take one. But we've got to have our eyes, because I like to go too many places and come back way too late. I've got to have my eyes. So let's get busy. Let's start eating to get well and eating to stay well. And thank God that we got great pots to cook in, and we have the best supplements to feed our body. Thank you, Pastor.
Okay, fantastic, fantastic. Hey, you know what? And I didn't quite catch it. Somebody asked what was in the can.
Oh, it was feed. We wanted to just make sure we had a little protein tonight, because some people may say, well, where are you going to get your protein? And we could have added some water in our dish. And, because let me tell you, right through here, I have bought the Atomy water pitchers. We got to make sure we're drinking the water. But these foods are still full of water. But it was chickpeas. That's what, and organic chickpeas. We want to eat as organic as we possibly can. Mm-hmm.
Okay, fantastic.
Yes.
Dr. Walita, are you there? If you're there, can you
I'm
assist me
here.
with the read? Can you assist me with the reading of the questions in the
Oh, okay.
chat?
All right. Of course.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Let's go to. Okay. Somebody wants to know product for lymphedema.
Okay. Circulation. Okay. Now, so my go-to for circulation is going to be first, it's going to be ginkgo. Ginkgo nata. That's the first one. My second one is going to be, it's going to be that milk thistle, because the liver is what gets rid of all the waste out of the body. The liver is in charge. It's the supervisor. It helps get waste out of the lungs, kidneys, colon, skin. Yes. So first, what did we say? And digestive enzymes, the fine enzyme, ginkgo, milk thistle. That's my first line of defense. Followed, but never left behind, is that vitamin C. I might would do the 4-4-4. I'll do the 4-4-4 till the floodgates open up. We can start getting this waste out of here. The lymphatic system has become sluggish, and we don't need for it to be standing around like a swamp, holding on. Drink water. If you don't drink water, you're going to hold on to the little bit that you have. And so we're asking you, over the summer, it's going to be a long, hot summer, please. The sweet spot is at least 90 ounces of water. Keep it near you. But please don't the go-to is not ice water, because the body would have to warm it up before it can really break it down. And we don't want to excite that heart. It causes a lot of heart attacks in the summer. People out cutting grass, drink cold water, bam, they're on the ground, heart attack. Okay? Yes, thank you.
Great. Thank you. The next one is a client experiencing adrenal failure.
Okay.
What should I suggest? They are asking.
Okay, so I would work with my kidneys. Mhm. I'd work with my kidneys. And so the first thing I would do is noni. Okay, I get the noni juice, and then I would get energy things and be complex, to get the stress off. And always, the nerves are involved. So get your calcium, B complex, noni, and what are we doing? We are working with the adrenals. You're either going to do the hemohem and or this baby right here. But I would almost do both. So tonight I put both in my dish. And so, because you do need energy, you've just ran your little wagon too long, too dry. And so you need energy. So the B complex, definitely, I'm going to taste the juice, the broth here. The broth is exciting. So just make sure you always put living food in your body. The body become exhausted when you don't have enough enzymes. See, you always got to have something raw. That's why you wouldn't eat salmon, the meat, protein, without vegetables. And this is arugula. Just never do it. And so you want to keep eating live food. And that's what the adrenal thing is. You're excited, exhausted. You've had too many of these flight and fight, and what happened, you just didn't feed your nerves. You know what I'm saying? Too many things. If you just feed your body, the body will bring it back into balance. The body know how to make itself healthy, but you weren't putting the best food in. So the calcium, take it at night. The B complex, definitely take it in the morning. So you can run hard all day. The calcium puts you to sleep good at night. And then bring in your energizing foods like your quantum energy and your hemohem and your jelly sticks, and you can, you'll boost up your immune system. You'll get your life back. And don't forget to have some green sauce. Yes. Potassium with muscles. Whew. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Mhm.
That was just so exciting. Someone is asking what is the purpose of the corn?
The purpose of the corn here is one little thing. I make sure when I'm buying it, it's non-GMO. So they didn't put the wrong stuff on it. But the purpose is to see if the food is traveling from your mouth and into the toilet is on time. It's not delayed. Because sometimes we don't know what delayed is. If it has an odor, it's delayed. If you just watch and see when that corn is going to come out. If it's 48 hours, you're delayed. Someone said that the doctor told them they didn't call it constipation, they call it delayed. So you want someone today, when would they see the corn come out? They said it, So you want to make sure it's traveling through. Come on, let's keep. And you have taken your fine zyme. So the fine zyme come first, even before the probiotic, because we got to digest it first. You know what I'm saying? And then it wouldn't sit so long in the colon, because we need a clean colon to build a strong immune system, but we got to digest it so it can move on. Thank you.
Okay, I have two more for you. What
Okay.
type of pumpkin was that?
Okay, so, I thought it was the Karabi. Well, I think I'm saying the wrong way. It's a K01, and it's got a little longer name than that one. I only, let's see here. When you go to the pumpkin store, hey, that's a good thing to tell you. When I got there, I Googled it, okay? And I couldn't believe it. It started with, I think it was the brain, the eyes, the heart, the lungs. Oh, whoa. Why haven't we been eating this pumpkin, And so let me see if I could find it real quick. Otherwise, you've got to either get in touch with me or call the pastor. We'll have it next week. It starts with a K. And so what I did, no, it doesn't start with a K. It starts with a C. And so let me see. It starts with a C, and put pumpkin there, and it should bring it to you. Yes, I'm so sorry. Let's see here. I see all my Googles here. Here it is. CALABAZA. Here it is. And I put health benefits of it, and it was amazing. It is low in fat and cholesterol. You see, cholesterol is something. Now remember, we are not taking statin drugs for our cholesterol. Okay, so and so its potassium content can help regulate your blood pressure in this pumpkin. Okay. And reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease. I always just look at the skin, and the skin tells me what pumpkin it is most of the time. Well, it's calabaza. Okay. And here's 5 benefits, and it says improve vision, and it lowers your cancer risk, healthy heart food, boost your immune system. Oh my goodness. And it helps you to feel fuller faster. Oh my goodness. And so that's what, the first thing to lose weight, just eat less. Feel satiated sooner. And hey, and when you eat a dish like this is a comfort food dish. Oh my goodness. And you're helping yourself all at the same time. When I made it the other day, I made it with Swiss chard. Swiss chard, we know, is the #1 greens for diabetes. So that's why I had brought this to the table. And whenever you eat, always get your what? Glucose care. Take it. Take it whether you need it or not, almost. So you can just, because there's a little sugar in the corn and maybe a tad bit in the squash, in the pumpkin, but take your glucose care. And that's what I do sometimes, just so you never have to get sick. Remember, the body will take care of you if you put the right food and the right supplements in it. That's what we're doing. Because we know sometimes the food comes in from other countries. Like I've sweared out, I'm not buying a watermelon until probably June 1st. I don't like them, not right now. So, we don't want them from the store.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, so here is one question. I'm not sure what the question is, but someone is saying that they have a client, SP intestinal surgery 6 weeks ago, and SP prostate surgery 7.5 years ago. I'm not sure what the SP is. So if you are asking that question, if you could just type a little more, what is the question?
Okay, so let's say this. It seems like it's the same person, right? And so if it's the same person, the colon sits right on top of the prostate. I would go to my colon first and make sure that whenever you're eating meat, you're always eating 2 or 3 vegetables with it. So, and take your fine zyme. And probably don't forget to take the probiotics too. But so you can escort it. And let me tell you, this is how I line it up. Fine zyme, stomach health, and then probiotics. That's how I line it up. Because if that full colon that you're not emptying out every day is sitting on top of the prostate or ovaries or uterus, then the poison is going to leak out of the colon into these organs and poison them. So fine zyme, yes, then stomach health, then probiotics. You couldn't do more right for your whole digestive system. Yes. Yeah. Where is that stomach health?
Great. That's great. And I mean, when you mentioned the fine zyme, I have to share because we had a individual on our call last week, and he was saying that he had so much more energy.
Oh,
And yeah, and he was saying energy. And so I was asking more questions. He said, yeah, in the afternoon, energy, because he was using the fine zone. And so we realized that he was eating lunch and he was running out of energy because he was not digesting that lunch. So
yeah.
when he added the fine zone to his regimen after lunch, he didn't have that afternoon slowdown again. So
And
fine zone, remember, you can regain your energy just by
yeah.
adding that fine zone.
Mhm.
And I think that, well, let's see, I think that might be it. Let's see, we have, oh, SP is after, oh, okay. But what was the question? The person,
Essentially,
The,
Dallas Turner here.
the person who asked that question, you can unmute your mic.
I don't think so.
There might be
it
something
was,
in.
because it was no question. They just said they know somebody that has
I
surgery.
really thought this would be a
It
potential
was
trade
a
because
question. Good
I expect
afternoon.
teams to come after those tackles
Yes.
at some
Hi,
point.
yes, sir.
But
I'm so
Mike Murphy
sorry.
is
It
one
was a
of them.
question.
He's the
What
only
happened is
defensive
that I
tackle that
bought
is going to be a 3-down.
the healthcare best kit that contains the hemohim, the mega, and the vitamin C. And I wanted to know, it's two different folks. One had cancer just recently and removed the intestine from the esophagus all the way down. And I think they reanastomosed the intestine to include a small part of the stomach to remove all the cancer, and wanted to know how, since it's a recent surgery, how should or what regime should I tell him to take that? And then the other person is about status quo. His surgery was about 7.5 years ago, but that was a prostate cancer. Now, what regime should that person take?
Oh, 1 minute. Okay. Now, I missed a little bit of it because I have to go to another call, but I think what's going on, see, why was the cancer extended all the way up into the esophagus, past the stomach, coming, because they were not digesting the food. It wasn't leaving the body on time. That's why it's so important that we digest, assimilate, move it out. And that bowels, oh, it has no odor. And so we, everybody has to pay attention to that. So now, Dr. Williams, that's why.
Yes, I'm here. Yes, I'm here.
Can you,
Yeah, I think what she's saying is they've had all this done, and can they go ahead and use that best care kit? So I'm gonna say this, when you have removed, we've experienced that when you have removed so much of your digestive area, you have to go slow on that because your absorption uh, is different. So I would just say start slowly. That would be the only difference. They could use it, but just begin slowly because their
can
absorption, their absorption is
come,
impeded because they don't have the parts that they should have as far as to the absorption. So
and so can we just make sure then on, when you put meat in the stomach, never put it in with the starch. It won't digest properly. Always put vegetables with protein. And whenever you're going to put a fruit in, only put fruit in. It digests in 10 minutes, watermelon or melons, but it takes only 30 minutes for fruit to digest. So you wouldn't put it in there with a vegetable that takes 3 hours or meat that takes 4 hours. So it's now time to honor the body. So if you were going to eat a starch like a potato that takes 3 hours or cabbage that takes 3 hours, then you can eat starch with vegetables, meat with vegetables, fruit with fruit. And watermelon should always be eaten alone And never put water in the stomach when you're eating food. Wait 45 minutes later. And now you're starting to honor the body. And that's how digestion works. And yes, I would take the digestive enzymes, because the pancreas helps shoot in, put digestive enzyme to break the food down, even in the stomach. But for sure, chew the food exceptionally well. That's what helps start the digestion. Thank you.
Mhm.
All right.
Okay, I think we've covered all the questions so far. Okay. I think we've covered all the
Okay,
questions.
excellent,
We just want to
excellent,
thank you so much for your
excellent.
questions, for your involvement. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr.
And
Olita. Thank you, Dr. Joy.
there is one question, and it's about it's a very involved question, so you'll need to contact one of the doctors for that one.
Okay, all right, that'll work. Dr. Olita, you want to put your information up on there? He says a very involved type of questions in the chat.
Yeah, I can do it. Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
can do that.
Okay. Right. Mm-hmm. Excellent. Well, we thank everybody for coming out. We thank you for inviting. Hey, we had about 108 on here on this evening. I'm telling you. Now, not next week, but maybe like once a month or however Dr. Joy is available, we'll have on here to do this again. We had fun on this evening. We got some good questions in. We got good testimonies in and everything. And I hope everybody remember to take notes, take notes. And we'll try to have this show, uploaded, as soon as possible. Indeed, because I know everybody want to go back over that prepping for the secret sauce. Indeed, definitely, it won't be a secret when you get it in your hand, because others will be asking. So spread the good news. Invite. You got to invite those new people. This is a part of our 8 steps. You need to share. You need to follow up. Follow up with your people. Keep them on point, with the time in which we're on. We're building towards success. Indeed, I hope that makes sense. So right now, we're going to say good night, John Boy. Okay? You got to mute your mic and say good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night,
Good
everyone.
night.
Bye,
Good night.
Pastor.
Good night.
Good
Good night,
Night.
everyone.
Good night.
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 Thank you,
Good
Dr.
night.
Joy, Dr.
Night.
Walita.
Good night.
Good
Thank you.
night,
Good night,
Mabel.
Thank you.
Dr. Joy. Good night,
Good
Dr.
night,
Walita.
Beverly.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Everyone, good
Good night,
night.
Dr. Springer.